My work with teenagers, adolescents, men, grown men, husbands, boyfriends, all forms of masculine has become such a cornerstone of my coaching because of my own evolution and understanding of my own pain as a man who showed up with a lot of what we call toxic, in my vocabulary I call it wounded masculinity. I lived most of my life projecting a lot of my fear, which in my work now with so many young boys, grown men, has become one common denominator that we all share. A lot of the wounded masculine comes from pain, from fear. My pain and fear was very deep-seated, and I buried that so deep that all I could ever see was this mask, this alter ego, this archetype of me that only caused me to knock on the door of my pain. I'm using my words very carefully. So when from the young boys I work with to the grown men I work with, I see the same me in all of them, the same pain, the same challenges. However different our cultures, our family dynamics, our paths in life, we have the same fear factor. And the inability to articulate that, the inability to talk about these emotions that are so deep, so murky, so clouded, that they haunt us in our daily lives. Mine showed up. I missed love. I missed love. I didn't know how to find love in me, because for most of my life I felt rejected. In my own perception, I was rejecting myself. I wasn't able to accept myself. So the rejection wasn't anything to do with anyone else. It was my own personal rejection. And so to not deal with that rejection, I would always go out looking for validation. I used women. I used a successful mechanical career in aviation. I used sports. I used gym. I used anything that I thought would make me not have to deal with that pain, to show up more masculine, which only exacerbated what was bubbling underneath, what was growing and what was not being dealt with. I look back now, and when I reflect on some of the things that I did, it's difficult not to have judgment on that person at that time, that version of me, because you feel, what did I do? What was I doing? And if we're not conscious of that, we judge that subconsciously, and then we only continue with those behaviors even more so because we think that's the only way to deal with it, even if it hasn't been successful. But because we don't know better, we keep just using the same method that we've always learned how to use to cope. What's Einstein's theory? The height of madness is trying the same thing over and over and hoping for a different result. That I feel applies to so many of us men. Avoidance, distraction, womanizing, sex, drugs, avoidance, alcohol, avoidance. And I've come to a stage in my evolution, and something I did echo again earlier was a coach's biggest asset and power is himself, is herself, themselves. And when you are able to face your challenges, your coping mechanisms, your fears, you are able then to support others through theirs. And this is where I'm at my stage of my life and my evolution. It's become a continuous self-love journey to the point where when I work with other boys, other men, the power is so instantaneous. The transformation is almost instantaneous because of the energy that comes, the ability to be with my pain and my shame, and then to find someone else's and to not have any judgment when you meet that person and just connect with that other masculine energy and say, I know where you are, and this isn't how it has to be. It's been so profound. I never imagined myself on my coaching journey in the beginning working with such masculine energy and bringing such a transformation because of my own fear of my own. But seeing what happens now encourages me more than ever to keep doing my work and bringing this to other young men adolescents, grown men, because I feel more than ever we need to bring a healthy masculine, because that I feel is lacking the most right now. I would love to support you as a man, as an adolescent, as a teenager. I would love to show you what you can see and feel, and how to be able to articulate that, and just what it will do for your life, from your own self-perception to your relationships and how you show up in this world. And if this is something you'd like to discover and you'd like to just have a look into and see what's there for you, please contact me. I'm always available, and I'd love to connect and see what we can do for you. When we heal one, we heal the collective. And this is my purpose. Thank you for listening.